Today we're going to be talking about the prison calls between Rubyfranke and her husband, Kevin Franke. There has been a lot of new things that have come out surrounding the Franke situation that I've been covering over here on this channel. There is a lot to go over, and there's no way I'm going to be able to go over all of it in this video. So in this one, we are going to focus on the prison calls because, as you know, I am someone who has had a magnifying glass on Kevin Franke, and so when I heard these calls, my red flag for him went up even higher. So we're going to be talking about that first, but I'm sure you are aware. If not, I will, do a quick little breakdown of it. The body cam footage was released from when they arrested Ruby, from when they arrested and raided Jodi Hildebrandt's house, finding, I will try not to say their names even though I have in the previous videos, but finding E and how they couldn't get her to talk to them for 4 hours. R, when he walked up to the house asking for water. I cried when I saw those videos because I hadn't seen them in that state. And the way that I remembered them was in the videos on 8 Passengers where they were healthy and just happy little kids as they're supposed to be, just playing and being silly, and seeing them like that, like, it reminded me of the Turpin family kids, and it broke my heart, and I have no idea the horrors that they had to have experienced apart from what we even know just by seeing them. It was absolutely devastating to see. I have been saying from the very beginning that I do not trust Kevin. Okay, and after listening to these prison calls, have you guys heard them? Let me know if you've heard the prison calls in the comments, because I have some big concerns, and we're going to be talking about that in this video. And actually, I'm going to be listening to the prison calls with you, and then I'm going to be giving my thoughts as we listen, because it's extremely disturbing. If you would like to see some videos of me talking about the body cam footage and all of that, let me know in the comments down below. But in this one, we're just going to be talking about these prison calls. Before I play it though, I want to say this, okay? Just a little bit of a spoiler for this entire thing. My biggest red flag is that not one time in these calls does Kevin ask about his kids, ask about their well-being, ask what she did to them. They're not brought up at all. But you know what is brought up? Money. Okay, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
Okay.
When I saw how long this separation was lasting, I wanted to think of some ways that I could bring in money or make some money if you didn't ever come back.
First of all, they just got on the phone call for the first time. First thing she talks about is money, okay? And then she also says, which that is a huge, huge problem. But then she also says, if you didn't ever come back. I don't know what to make about this part right here, because the way that it was told to the public was that she kicked Kevin out, not that he left. So in this, she says, if you didn't ever come back. Maybe she's talking about, like, in her weird religious terms, if you didn't ever come back, like, into what we believe, and you know how they are, like, you didn't ever get saved, and that type of thing, like if you didn't ever come back in that way. Maybe that's what she means there, but I found that to be interesting.
That's when I asked if you would co-sign on a loan if I found a house, and maybe I could Airbnb it or rent it out, or I've been playing with numbers in my head and I think I could make something, but I don't want to be dumb. I want to be very conservative. So I pulled the money and I have it in a bag. And
With you? Do the police have it?
well, I don't know what the police took.
First thing we hear out of Kevin is, did the police have the money that you took out? Do they have the bag of the money? As a parent, I would be yelling and being like, what did you do to my kids? Are my children okay? What did you do to them? How could you do this? This is what I'm hearing has happened to our children. Is this true? I would be asking questions about my kids. This is someone he hasn't seen, apparently, who he hasn't seen his children, doesn't know what's going on, but he's not asking any questions. This doesn't sound like someone who doesn't, this either does not sound like someone who doesn't know what's going on or doesn't care. That's what this sounds like.
But the bag is at Jody's house?
They can't just take people's money. I mean, that's not right.
Well, they're not going to take the money, but when they have a search warrant, they have access to everything in the house.
Sure. Yeah.
I have a feeling we're going to need that money.
I have a feeling we're going to need that money. Why? If you don't believe, keep this in mind, at this point, he hasn't seen his kids, but he's seen the articles that were posted about Ruby and the details that were in them. All of those details that all of us saw, he read those about his children, okay? He read them. He knew what was being said about her. Still has not asked her a question about it, and it's 2 minutes in. They're still talking about money. If he didn't believe that she did those things that he read, and that wasn't why he wasn't asking her about them because he didn't believe that she did them, why would he think that they would need the money? That is something you are going to say if you think someone is in bad trouble and they're going to need a lot of money for a lawyer because they're in deep. That's something you're going to say if you know somebody has messed up and they need a good lawyer to try and get them out of it. Why would you say that if you didn't believe what the articles were saying about your children? If you didn't believe that, okay? And I'm only saying this because I have seen some people say on social media that they didn't believe that Kevin knew everything that she was doing and that he didn't believe everything and that he changed his tune after he saw his children. If that's the case, then why did he say, I have a feeling we're going to need that money? Because I'll tell you right now, if I was ever in this situation and I didn't believe that my spouse did something like that, I truly didn't believe that, I wouldn't think, oh, we're going to need a lot of money for your lawyer. Oh, we're going to need a lot of money to get you out of this trouble. I would think they're going to see you didn't do anything wrong and they're going to let you go. That's what I would think. But no, he knew. He knew something. He knew something. Allegedly, don't want to get myself in trouble.
We might do. So, I haven't been making big purchases. I've been very conservative. I think the biggest expense has been the kids' schooling, and that's they have enough curriculum to get them for a couple years. So,
okay. I just received a text from Ted Dawson out of the blue. Ted Dawson, who I haven't heard from in years.
What, he just texted you?
Yeah, the story's out. So he said, Stormy sent me an article and it just broke my heart. I just wanted you to know I'm thinking about you, and if I can ever be a resource, we are always here.
Are we in the news?
It sounds like at least you're in the news. I don't know about me. I don't know what he's talking about. But
I'm wondering if they went to Sherry.
At least you're in the news. I don't know about me. I don't know what he's talking about. Not, are my kids okay? Are we in the news?
To, ask her questions.
I don't know.
He's looking for public.
I know they are. And a couple of months ago, Business Insider was reaching out to me, and I ignored their email, but I'm going dark.
This is a witch.
I'm not at BYU anymore, so I don't know how they're going to find me.
So he's basically saying that they're not going to be able to find him because he doesn't work at that place anymore, and he's going dark. He's not going to talk. And she's like, oh, this is a witch hunt. Well, you are a witch, so I guess.
Maybe it was a blessing.
Maybe it's a blessing. Maybe it's a blessing. For your kids, maybe.
This is a witch hunt. It's definitely been there for years. And
When is this noise going to end? This is so loud.
You shared that with the detectives?
I have not said a word until I have an attorney.
Okay, well, you know that this phone call is being recorded.
I don't know what was redacted from this call right there. If it was like personal information about her children or something, I'm not sure. But whatever she just said right there, he's like, you know, this is being recorded, right? I'm so curious what was just said that we couldn't hear. And also, like, be careful what you say, Ruby. This is being recorded. Protecting her and himself.
Yes, that will come out. That will come out.
Okay.
Just when we were driven to the jail, the detective was putting us in the car, and Jody said,
Dang it, I hate when they redact stuff like this. No idea what's being said right here. It's so loud, though.
I trust you. So
She just said to Kevin, I trust you.
They're going to be in the hospital for 3 days.
so weird. It's just not necessary.
He said that his kids have been in the hospital for 3 days, and she's like, so weird, so unnecessary. He knows his kids have been in the hospital for what she did to him and to her children. And he's not yelling at her. He's talking to her calmly, talking about like they're working together in this conversation. Like, I can't imagine my kids are in the hospital, okay? And I'm reading articles that are saying what happened to them. And I'm not at their side. I'm going dark. I'm hiding so they can't find me, but I didn't do anything wrong. And then I'm on the call with the person who did this. Do you guys see what I'm saying? I'm terrified that these kids are with him.
They're trying to exaggerate this. Well,
they didn't show me.
Like the hero.
But they didn't show me any pictures or anything, but the way they described it, it was very serious.
Hold on. They didn't show me any pictures or anything, but the way they described it, it looked very serious. He is lying, allegedly. Have you guys ever heard of that thing where someone gives you a little bit of information because they're about to tell you a lie, so they overshare something? His saying, I didn't see any pictures or anything, but it looked very serious. You know what that tells me? He did see pictures, allegedly. He knew this was being recorded. And he knew that if he had seen pictures of it at this point, in this recorded phone call, and it got out there that he saw those pictures, he wouldn't get those kids back, allegedly. There is something so off with this family. Does anyone else see it? There is something so off here. It is scary. It is scary. I mean, even, let's say he didn't see pictures. Even if he didn't see pictures, he heard what happened to them. He heard the same things that all of us heard. Okay? And you know what his response was? I'm going dark. I'm going to talk to my wife on the phone about money. The money that we need to defend her in court, and I'm going dark and they can't find me even though my kids have been in the hospital for 3 days. I would be busting down that hospital door to get to my kids to make sure they were okay. I wouldn't be on the phone with the person that they were saying did these things to them, asking, talking about anything, asking no questions, but just sitting there having a conversation with her like normal. That would never happen in a million years. He's just sitting there talking to her with his kids in the hospital. And if they won't let him go see them in the hospital, why is he not demanding to see them in pictures and see, what do my children look like? Are they okay? This is not a normal parent. This is not a normal parent who wants to protect their children and has their children's best interest at heart. This makes me infuriated. They've been in the hospital for 3 days and he's not there, or at least attempting to get there. He's going dark. He's going in hiding. He's not going to talk to anybody. He only knows what's being said allegedly because he hasn't asked for more information at all. Oh my God, I'm so freaking mad. This is not a dad. This is not a dad. This is not how a dad acts. These people are monsters. Okay, I think it's going to go into another call after this, okay? So I don't know when this call was made, if they made it right after, if I have no idea, but it's going to go into a different call.
Please see the truth. I know it's obscured.
where I see the facts, I see the truth, and that's what I'm gathering.
You know my heart.
What are they charging you with?
2 degrees.
He's being very careful with what he says, I'll tell you that. Because he knows, remember, he knows this is being recorded. There's going to be some holes in what he's saying because he knows it's being recorded.
He's two charges of second-degree felony for child abuse.
2 charges of second-degree felony child abuse.
Yes.
They both said that so dead. That's the best way to describe it. They just said it like I have nothing left in me.
Okay. Wow. That's very serious.
I'm actually getting mad. As a parent, anybody who is a good parent out there watching this video, you would know exactly what I'm feeling right now. If you have children with someone and you hear they are being charged with that because of your children, why would you reply that way? It would have to keep me away from that prison because I would be trying to burn it down just to get to her. That is not a parent. I'm disgusted. You are just calmly speaking to someone who did this horrific stuff to your children, and you hear what they're being charged with because of what they did to your children that are currently in the hospital, and you're going dark and talking to the person who did it and calmly replying to them about it. Whether you can say he believed it or didn't believe it in that moment, his response is pissing me off. How could you reply to any of this so calmly and nonchalantly with zero emotion at all? You can't even say, oh, he's just trying to process it. This is not a normal response. This whole thing is not a normal response. This whole thing, and we're only 6.5 minutes in.
It's interesting. I had the prompting over the last month to read Viktor Frankl. I was reading him, and it was like the worst part was not knowing the end. He said he had an inmate that's man searched for meaning, and he was a prisoner in World War II, and he said the worst part and the greatest bringing of depression was not the lack of food, and it wasn't the weather conditions, it was not knowing how long it would last. So I think I was prepared for this. I do feel strong. I feel calm. And you know what? Adults have a really hard time understanding that children can be full of evil and what that takes to fight it. You've seen what it takes to fight evil.
Did you hear what I just heard? We have to go back and listen to that.
Adults have a really hard time understanding that children can be full of evil and what that takes to fight it. You've seen what it takes to fight evil. It's not the person you're fighting. And it can look like something it's not. And you've been there, you know that. And so I don't know any adults who are going to see the truth. So I'm calm about this, and I just pray that you'll hang in there.
I don't even know what to say. No, I do know what to say. Him saying nothing to that, him not denying that, him not saying, I've never been there. I haven't seen that. What are you talking about? I've never seen things like this being done to my children. I've never been a part of fighting evil against my children and it looking like something that it's not. I need you all to understand, if you don't, what that means. What she did to her children, which I can't say here on YouTube because it gets me demonetized, but the things she did to her children that we all know about, that was her fighting evil. That was her fighting evil in her eyes against her children. She just said, you've been there. You've seen what it takes to fight evil. It looks like something that it's not. It's not the person you're fighting. It's not our children you're fighting. It's the evil you're fighting. Not only is this entire phone conversation so disturbing that he is sitting there talking to this woman calmly like this, but right there, that is the most damning thing I've heard in this entire phone call so far. He has been there when they are fighting the evil in their kids. Rubyfranke's parents wrote a letter to the judge asking for them to have compassion on Ruby so that she could get a lesser sentence, and that their hope was for her children to forgive her so they can one day have a relationship. Did you guys see that body cam footage and the condition these kids were under? They've seen them. They've seen the kids. They saw the kids before any of us saw this body cam footage. They saw them. They knew the condition that they were under and how bad it was. But the fact that she just said that and he didn't deny that, what has he done and been a part of? Apart from what we know from the 8 passengers videos, I'm so disturbed I feel sick.
Minute remaining for this call.
I think I can call back, but
Yeah, but just in case, I'm preparing to step up and fight for the children that have been taken. And there's going to be a hearing in the next couple of days here in Provo.
I'm sorry, I signaled to Joe. Will you say that one more time?
Yes, I'm prepared to step up and fight for the children. They've been taken into custody. They're in foster care, and there's going to be a hearing within the next 2 or 3 days.
What about Abby and Julie?
Them too, all 4 were taken.
This is the first time that Ruby's even asking where the kids are. She is so delusional. She didn't even, this is not the first phone call. This is the second phone call we're listening to right here. And she just now asked, what about Abby and Julie? She didn't even know where they were yet because this is the first time she's asked.
Where did they go to get Abby and Julie?
I don't know. While I was with them, they got Abby, and they were looking.
You have exceeded the allowable time for this call.
I didn't hear the last thing that he said. I heard when I was with them. I don't know what was going on at the end of that, but we're on the 3rd and final phone call right now that I have found.
It was horrible. It was torturous last night, hearing the screaming and the banging and people. It's like, okay, that's upsetting. But the most upsetting thing is that I am completely misunderstood. That is the most horrible feeling. Like, my own family misunderstands me. They misinterpret me. And poor Jody, they misinterpret her and they misunderstand her. She puts her neck out on the line for people, and then they get mad at her. I mean, it is just horrendous. It's horrendous. And you know what? Every Joseph Smith, every wonderful man of God has had to be misunderstood.
That's right.
And
He just agreed. He just agreed. The reason why I'm focusing so heavily on what Kevin is doing in this call is that we all know about Ruby, right? But Kevin is hiding his demons, I'll tell you that. There's some darkness going on here, and it's being hidden. And she's sitting in there just talking about, like, oh, the screaming, it was terrible. It was horrible. Nobody feels sorry for you. And don't get me started on the Joseph Smith crap.
I'll get out of this if truth prevails right now, or, who knows, like 20 years? I don't know. I don't know how long. But I'm going to step out. I'm going to say I went through everything. I have seen God's children suffer. All the people here, my jail cellmates, have been beautiful women, but they've been hurt. They've been deceived into drugs, and my number just has so much compassion for them.
I've had enough of this phony piece of crap woman. Like, I have so much compassion for my cellmates because they got into drugs and stuff. Your children were horrifically hurt by you, and you don't have any compassion in any of these calls for your kids at all. You say nothing about them. You don't ask about their well-being, if they're okay. You justified the things on numerous occasions that you did to them. But you sit here and you have compassion for the strangers and your cellmates.
I have compassion for the cause, and I have compassion for myself. And I to be told that I'm suicidal. I'm like, no, that's not true. If you need to let
either Sherry or one of your siblings.
well, they're all in cahoots. One means all of them, but yes, you're right. In your hearing, I
Sherry and her sisters are all in cahoots.
considered this. I don't know if it'd be helpful, but you could have the house. And if all the kids go to the house, you've got room there, and I will gladly stay away and let you guys be. So I don't know if that's helpful. I'm just giving it to you if it is.
Thank you. And in the discussions with my attorney, that's the only way that we're going to retain custody of the children.
That's fine.
Kevin's wording is extremely important in these phone calls. He said that is the only way we are going to get custody of the kids. This is exactly the way that I thought it was. I have thought from the very beginning that they were like this, and that the divorce is because it looks better. It's so that he can get his kids. He said that he's going to do whatever he can to get his children back. I think that them getting a divorce was so that it looked better and so that he could get them back. I think the divorce was to get custody of the children. And I mean, they're working together in these phone calls. Let's just go ahead and finish this, and then I'm going to go off. Okay.
He's 35 years in this, and he said even if you are acquitted and are released, they will place legal restrictions on your access to the under 18 children.
I figured such. God told me when I was driving before I called you. I didn't have any information. I didn't know anything. And the Spirit said, your children are going to be removed. And I cried out loud. I'm like, no, I'm not done. I'm not ready. And God told me I'm done. And I just, so. Satan has taken everything away from me that I love. And I'm a good woman. I don't do naughty things. I'm a really good girl.
Ew. Ugh. She's disgusting.
I'm going to do everything that I can to keep truth in our family. And
Thank you.
I am committed to our family. I'm committed to you and our marriage, no matter what happens.
Thank you.
I will be here to support you in any way that I can.
Well, thank you for stepping up.
You need to go, but
Okay, all right.
call me back when or if you need.
When will you find out? How can I call you? When should I call so I find out what they say?
I don't know how long this will go, but if you call this afternoon, I will know. This is a preliminary hearing, so there will be no.
Okay. Well, it's hard to get a phone around here. I asked for a phone and it took hours to get it, so it may not be until later tonight. Okay. Okay. All right. Good luck. I will be praying for you. Okay. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, so I don't know the timeline of these phone calls, but Ruby was arrested in August, and then the custody hearing with Kevin was in October. So this call it had to have been 2 months after she was first arrested that this call was happening, at least somewhere in there, because he's talking about that, right? I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. I don't know all the times he had to go to court and for what, but that is months of potential communication that I didn't see in the prison calls. I only saw these 3. So there's potentially a lot of calls we haven't seen. And like I said, I don't know, maybe this was sometime in August and it was a different hearing situation. But the reason why I'm saying that is that there's potential to be like 2 months worth of time for him to have seen his children or know the condition that they were in before he said these things. But regardless of that, whether it was 2 months later or shortly after she was arrested, coming from someone who's been separated from his wife for over a year, he said, I am committed to this marriage to you. I believe in my heart of hearts that this is all being done so that when she does get out, that she will still allegedly have access to all of them. I mean, if she gets the max, which I got corrected a lot on my last video, the max would be 30 years. If she gets the max, they're all going to be grown up and can make their own decisions at least. But the fact that they were trying to set this up this way, and he used the phrase we, I don't know. I don't trust him and I don't trust her extended family. And I know that the foster care system isn't any better, and it's, hard to find a good foster family for a lot of kids. They do exist, but a lot of them get in bad foster care situations. It just, they messed up with these kids so bad. You guys are going to have to let me know what you think in the comments down below about these phone calls. Do you think that Kevin Franke is safe for his children? Because I don't. And these phone calls prove it even further. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you would like to see more videos like this, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon for another one.